BlueTights.net's Rob Burnett spent as much time on the Superman Returns set as Bryan Singer, so naturally, we're going to grill the hell out of him. Plus, Broken Lizard Troop members Steve Lemmy and Paul Soter, you know, the crazy guy and the red-haired dude? Well, they're coming by with a blast from their movie past. And 2005 is so last year. Giant Magazine founder Jamie Hooper will tell us all about the coolness that awaits in '06. Now, who wants a mustache ride? It's Attack of the Show!
Pick up on this.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Relationship Thursday, Kevin.
Is it Relationship Thursday? Mm-hmm. Are we really taking calls? Mm-hmm. Are you really touching me like that right now?
Yeah.
You know you're going to regret that.
I already
We're not
do.
going to take calls now. Now that you've touched me like that, just to punish you, not happening.
You're really sweaty.
I know, and it's a pound of makeup. It's to keep me pretty. I'm at the gym this morning, speaking of keeping pretty. On the old elliptical, doing one of these things.
I love the elliptical.
That little motion.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Running
less strain
without
on the
running.
knees. I highly recommend it. And I look up on the TVs, and they've got them all on mute, you know, too much noise in the gym. And the closed captioning is scrolling by, and there's people in Sacramento that have apparently been there since Thanksgiving or so. The news is all over this because there's an alleged crying Virgin Mary statue.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently the statue is weeping, so everybody has to flock to it now because this is a sign of something.
So it's just is it made of salt water, these tears?
Well, they haven't launched a formal investigation yet.
Okay.
They said that there might be one pending, but for right now, they do not know. They know that they are red tears.
They're red?
They're red. Crimson tears.
They're
like
bloody tears.
She's weeping blood. It's like a stigmata.
Yeah. Oh.
And I'm reading like the CBS report on this, and people are marveling about the fact that, well, one quote, and this is like it's not an actual quote, but it's pretty it's close as I can remember, was, they're tears and they're red and they're coming from her eyes. It has to be a miracle. That was one of them. The second one was, we visited the statue on Thanksgiving, and the tears were on her chest, like they had dripped from her eye to her chest. We went back the next day, and they had gone from her chest to the rest of her dress.
As real tears would do.
Miracle!
Wow, you know,
gravity.
I can't believe it.
It's called gravity. It's not a big deal. It happens. But I'm sick and tired.
It's called a miracle.
I'm sick and tired of the media making a big deal out of the face appearing in toast,
yes,
or on a highway overpass, etc. These things don't
an oil
deserve.
spill in the face of Jesus.
Thank you.
I don't. Why are they miracles?
A cloud formation that looks like the pearly gates. It's just,
look, oh, it went away.
Let it go, because all these things really, they give people false hope, number one, and number two, they pale in comparison to the miracles that happen around our own office.
Oh, miracles on G4?
You know the big G4 happening? No?
No.
This happened earlier this week. This is I mean, production pretty much stopped.
Where was I?
I don't know. Did you come in late? Did you have another one of your appointments?
You know, sometimes I go and sleep in my car at lunch.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. You need it. But yeah, no, this happened. This is Solid Snake. You might know him from Metal Gear. It's a video game.
Well, why is everyone worshiping
Well,
him?
if you look very closely, he wept, Sarah.
Oh my God.
Look at there it is. Those are actual tears on the Solid Snake. Very, very touching.
Kevin, don't tell me you're buying into this, please.
No, I'm not. And that's the thing. Like, don't buy into this. It's like, it's one thing to believe that aliens were in volcanoes and then they inhabit our bodies now, and that's why our fate level's out of control.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're not supposed to tell people about that,
But
by the way.
A crying statue is ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We just can't get on board, people of Sacramento. Sorry, you've been duped. Speaking of weird happenings, how about an archive of poetry, Kevin?
That sounds like a miracle. I want a ticket to that train.
It's actually a new website. It's not that weird at all. It's actually going to collect audio recordings of famous poems. You've read these poems, but have you heard them spoken?
No, it's like a whole different
by the right kind of people.
thing.
Yeah, and spoken by you, maybe. You could even, we actually don't even know who's going to be doing the recordings. You know, maybe Kevin or I. Actors seem to be the natural choice.
Real actors with talent.
Yeah, probably not Kevin or I, actually, but one of the first celebrities getting in on the act, we've found, reading a poem called This Is Just to Say, a poem by William Carlos Williams.
Yes, William Carlos Williams, yes.
Is Christopher Walken himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet, and so cold.
Wow.
I don't think he was sorry he took the fruit at all.
I don't think he was. That was a very dramatic poem for Walken to really go in and read. But
well, Christopher Walken, he is all over the place. He dances.
He does.
He reads poetry. He's amazing.
He's a Renaissance man, ladies and gentlemen.
He sure is.
And, you know, it is the holiday season.
It
in
is
case
the
you weren't
holiday
aware.
season.
It's officially December.
1st.
And you know of a little gift exchange, perhaps, called the White Elephant? Have you heard?
Yeah, is that where you...
Or the Secret Santa?
Everybody gives one gift, and you don't know who you got it from, and it's sort of, you try to be clever about it.
It could be something really crappy, or it could be something that looks like completely junk, but maybe you hid some money in it somewhere, and that way when the gift exchange is over, it's, you know, you traded it away.
Those diapers are really worth $300.
Yeah, look under
schmucks.
it. Exactly. I hid some Coke in them. But bringing the tradition itself is actually satanic in nature, and most people don't know this, and that's why I'm really glad that the Christmas metal band, the holiday metal band that just sprung up called Carcass, they have a single dedicated to the Secret Santa or the White Elephant gift exchange.
Sounds like your kind of band.
No,
Satanic
definitely.
band called
absolutely.
Carcass.
Oh, I used to listen to them in
exposing
college.
white elephants
all the time.
as the children of Satan.
Yeah, it could be viral marketing. We don't know, but the song's called Secret Santa, and it's amazing, and that's why you need to just
We're gonna watch.
Take a look.
Devil's game called Secret Santa. A black charade when you ask.
Who's this from?
There's no answer. You put your name into a hat, then pouring out maliciously. It's wearing no stick to Beelzebub's words surreptitiously.
Boo hiss, Kevin.
Oh, come on, it's the Secret Satan. Not the Secret Santa, the Secret Satan. You didn't know you were doing the work of the devil when you were giving out crap gifts, did you?
Kevin, you know, I do like the way you dress, but I don't know if I like your taste in music.
Oh,
it's getting worse every day.
It's amazing. All right. Now online
Save
gaming.
the white elephant.
Online gaming?
Online gaming?
Yeah.
What
Beautiful
about it?
women.
Oh.
Humiliating
I like those.
headgear. What am I talking about, Sarah?
I have no idea.
It's the LAN party with Brendan Moran. Brendan,
Oh my
what?
God, he's Brendan.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Is that state sanctioned headgear?
It's Helmet Camp Thursday.
Helmet Camp Thursday, yes!
Thursday, everybody!
There it is.
Let me see. Oh, there we are. Hey, Brendan, what's
there
up,
you are,
buddy?
right there.
How's it going?
There's Sarah. Good.
what else
This thing's actually very, very comfortable.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, and you can also fall over and not hurt yourself as much.
Yeah.
Well, it's a helmet.
He's got a soft head.
It's the Verizon Broadband Battle as well. Today we're playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. Joining us is the lovely Keela Yu from the DVD series Super Import Model. Hi, how are you?
Hey, you still got my name wrong.
What's your name?
Kyla.
Hey, I got a helmet cam on here. Give me a break. So are you enjoying your gaming?
I'm just running in circles. Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
What'd you just say? I was distracted.
My eyes up here.
Oh, right. What, do you dig guys with helmet cams?
It's quite sexy.
That's great.
Up here.
We'll be back with you a little bit later in the show. Kyla?
Yeah.
Now make sure you have enough refreshments within arm's reach because nearly half of the Broken Lizard comedy team will be here next.
No, do you mind?
Jesus, this is your mother. I hope you're doing all right. I just wanted to call, see how you were doing. Nothing big. Don't worry about it. There's no problems. Just give me a call whenever you get a chance. Thank you. Bye-bye. I love you. Jesus, this is your mother. I just wanted to call and let you know what your father threw his back out. Don't worry. He's fine. It's okay. It's nothing. It's no big whoop. Just wanted to let you know he's in a little bit of pain. He's watching TV. Jesus, this is your mother again. Just wanted to call and say hello. Oh, we heard from your cousin John the other day. He's doing great. Still with the Baptist thing. You know, I'm not really sure what that's about. But, you know, different strokes for different folks. That's fine. But, you know, he calls his mother all the time. Jesus, it's your mother again. I just wanted to call because I know your birthday's coming up. I want to know if you maybe wanted to do something for it, if you wanted to go out. I know you like Bertucci's, so we can always do Bertucci's. Jesus, this is your mother again. Just want to say hi. And, you know, I was just thinking to myself, are you ever going to get married? Am I ever going to have grandkids before I pass on again? Jesus, this is your mother. I just want to know, what did I do? What did I do wrong? Did I say something? Did I do something? Just, I want to know why you're not calling.
And inside the appointment
Is it for the nerves catching up?
Hold it right there. Security. I said hold it right there, buddy.
I didn't even recognize.
Broken Lizard is a comedy team made up of 5 guys who are responsible for the movies Super Troopers and Club Dread. 2 of them, Steve Lemmy and Paul Soter, are here with us now. Look, any attempt at humor that we do here, it's not going to be nearly as funny as, like, the Meow Game, so we're not going to try. Ladies and gentlemen, Broken Lizard, how you guys doing? Thanks for coming onto the couch. We appreciate it. Obviously, you broke the no shirt, no shoes rule, but we'll let it slide because you are God amongst men.
Well, he wanted to show you his gnarly big toe. He's got really gross toes.
No, and it's not kidding either. It's is there a clinical issue there, or is that just?
It's just the rotten toe.
Okay, we'll accept that.
This is my. We got one part of their body that's just not right, and all.
Not me, actually.
Oh, really?
No. I think I'm pretty checked out. Well, maybe during the commercial break, but for right now, I want to talk about Broken Lizard.
Yeah.
You guys started comedy troupe in college, and now you can't go to any college without the students quoting, asking for liters of cola at In-N-Out, etc. Has the success gone to your head? Are you trolling sororities now, or do you not even recognize the fact that you are in fact gods?
No, in fact, actually, when we wrote part of the Dukes of Hazzard, and we were down there, and we'd go into these. We were at LSU. We'd go into these college bars with Johnny Knoxville. We'd walk in with him. It was like the Beatles had just arrived, and all the girls would surround him, and like whisk him away, and we would be left with the guys who were just shouting, our lines at us and giving us, shots of, alcohol, Jägermeister, Goldschlager,
Whatever the kids drink these days.
The cool kids.
Yeah, the bomb, Irish car bombs.
What are they? Midori sours. Is that not?
See, we don't
Whiskey
know.
says, yeah.
We'll take it. And are you sick and tired of it at this point, or do you still appreciate it?
No, I mean, we don't go to college campuses that often, so when we do, then it's a nice, it's nice to, We have to, there's always the first day, if we're going to spend more time there, there's the first day where we get sort of jarred back into it, where we do all the shots that everyone is giving us, and then we wind up on the carpet someplace, and then we know we have to pace ourselves after that.
Third or fourth day, you're like putting a shot in the plant when he's looking.
Doing the spit back into the beer bottle from the chaser. It happens.
Yeah.
Now, how did you guys actually get started with Broken Lizard? Was this a frat party gone awry out of college, or how did you guys get initiated?
Initiated.
Yeah, well,
paddling.
Yeah.
We locked Lemmy in the trunk of a car with a bottle of vodka.
And a pencil up my butt. We just started doing sketches at Colgate. And, Jay had been asked to direct something or to put together a show, and he and Kevin wanted to do like a sketch comedy show. So we auditioned and, started doing little short videos in there.
By audition, you mean the pencil trick.
Yeah.
Obviously. And you guys passed the test, and
flying colors.
Of course, we expect nothing less from you.
Yeah.
And now it's off to all sorts of crazy projects. And the thing that strikes me as interesting is that normally, would you consider like Super Troopers, and we'll get to the other film here in a second, do you consider those independent films for what they were at the time?
Yeah, I mean, they were actually totally independent. I mean, Super Troopers was bought at Sundance and then released by Fox Searchlight. But when we made it, it was totally done with independent money and just doing it on our own,
Now, do you find that normally with independent films, most people don't attempt to do the comedy thing, to try and go and just do that? They try to blow out the contrast and call it artsy, or shoot something in black and white with out-of-sync audio and say that it's a, impressionist kind of thing?
It's tough now because if you go to Sundance, the independent films there have budgets of like $5 to $10 million.
Right.
When we were there, actually the movie we're going to talk about, Puddle Cruiser, we were there with First 5 years before Super Troopers, and we didn't sell that, and it was because of the fact that it was like a lowbrow comedy aimed at an art house audience. So they were like, well, are you going to advertise it to independent film audiences? Because they won't go see it. And commercial audiences won't go see an art house film because that's what this is. And so it sort of got lost in the crack.
But it's true, most indie films and most films at Sundance are pretty serious, gritty, depressing stuff, and actually work to our benefit because, Sundance likes to have some kind of counter-programming to that stuff. So it really actually made it nice because they were, and even now, I mean, they're eager to have some broad comedies to mix it up.
Just something to stand out and wake the crowd up at least, right?
Well, definitely, like, Super Troopers was part of the midnight screening. And I know that after that, they've sort of stopped treating comedies like The Red-Headed Stepchild. Napoleon Dynamite was part of the regular.
Sure.
I think, anyway. I don't know. But,
well, it's now fact because you said it on television. So
and I mean it. Yeah.
And I'm serious. What is the premise behind Puddle Cruiser?
It's just sort of multiple storylines that, you know, we'd been out of college only for a couple of years.
Yeah,
I'm still not sure. I've seen it like 50 times. I'm not sure what it's about. But I mean, it was really just like, let's make a movie that tells a lot of the stories and a lot of the jokes that we had going in school. And so there's all sorts of stuff going on, but it's pretty slice of life, what it's like to be in college.
Yeah, like, it's like beer, chicks. It's like beer, chicks.
Beer and chicks. That's the extent of the experience, right?
Yeah. Well, there are three. I think there are two plot lines. One is that like the main character starts dating a girl who's got a boyfriend from another college, and they've got a seeing other people type of agreement, and so they start dating, and he thinks he's winning, and then it turns out he's not really beating that guy out, and so he winds up joining the rugby team, and ultimately winds up playing this guy in a big rugby game.
Obviously, a very typical college experience. For you yourselves and for our audience out there.
Well, it was based on Jay. The exact thing happened to Jay where you dated somebody who had a boyfriend in another school who was a rugby player. So we thought, all right, I'll show that I'm better than this guy, and I'll join the rugby team. And if you've seen Jay, he's not really rugby material, no offense.
Doesn't strike me as that. But he was the reason that Jessica and Nick split after the Dukes of Hazzard film.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
I was hoping to Oh, all right. Little finger pointing.
Nick and I had a little, something.
What's
Everybody's pointing fingers at Jessica, and really he and Nick Lachey were having sex the whole time. So.
I'm having his baby.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's huge.
Gonna make a little boy band. That's Quince.
Is this gonna get in the way of the next film, though?
No, that'll be the hook of the next film.
Cameos by all 5 of your children.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Thanks again for stopping by the show, guys.
Absolutely.
We sincerely appreciate it. Again, it was a pleasure, even with the toe and all.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Pick up Puddle Cruiser on DVD. It's available now, and go to brokenlizard.com for fun, and of course for the Farva t-shirts. Now, if you thought the only thing that was going to be giant in 2006 was the gap between dreams and your reality, well, stick around, because Giant Magazine has some news for you, folks. It's coming up.
If you're going to call yourself the ultimate entertainment magazine, you better be prepared to back it up. And, you know, putting Stephen Colbert in a fashion spread probably qualifies as backing it up. Here to let you in on just how awesome 2006 is going to be is Giant Magazine founder and president Jamie Hooper. Hey, Jamie.
Hey.
Thanks for being here.
Good. Thanks for having me.
All right, so I've got Giant Magazine in front of me, and we've got Denise Richards on the cover. She looks really hot. She's got, a hot red dress on. Is Giant Magazine one of these stuffs and Maxims and FHMs? And is it another men's magazine? Because I feel like it's pretty saturated, market out there.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. It is for men, mostly men. We have a lot of women that love it, too. It's different from those magazines, though, in the sense that what Giant is really for is for the entertainment fanatic.
Okay.
It's for the guy who just lives and breathes movies.
Cool.
So to the point of like having 1,000, DVD collection, and just movie quoting all the time with his friends, and just movies are sort of a big part of his life.
Gee, I don't know any guys like that, especially around here. What's kind of neat about this particular issue, you've got the Giant 50. Now, this is, I was thinking, what is this, like People's 50 Most Fascinating People? No, not at all. It's actually kind of stuff that we're looking ahead into 2006, what's going to be cool, new trends that are happening. For example, and sort of strange stuff here, real boobs on celebrities.
Right.
New trend happening in Hollywood.
Well, it's a trend that we wanted to celebrate.
Yes.
Certainly. Well,
as men do.
There are women that we picture in there. You see Scarlett there, and Jessica Alba and Selma Hayek.
Of course, they're all well endowed. Featured.
Naturally.
Naturally.
We said
women.
leave the silicone to the C-list.
Sure.
And keep it real. So
exactly.
We wanted to celebrate that and encourage that behavior.
Celebrating real women. I'm with you, man. And then there's number 10, which is a feature on digital actor Andy Serkis, who, of course, was Gollum. A lot of us know him as Gollum from Lord of the Rings. And now is digitally acting as King Kong. And, do you think that he could keep his career alive just doing digital acting?
Well,
I have never heard of such a thing.
As long as Peter Jackson keeps hiring him,
I guess
think,
so.
certainly. But I think we're so excited about King Kong, and King Kong coverage is going to be everywhere. And we wanted to just do a different angle on it and talk with Andy about really what it means to be a digital actor. It's something that he's created. It's his art specifically that he takes really seriously. We did a fun photo shoot with him in the suit with the head, next to him. And it's just a unique take on King Kong for our readers that you're not going to get elsewhere. Hopefully.
Now, something that we have heard of elsewhere is coming in at number 20 is We Love Publicists, also known as the Tom Cruise Meltdown.
Yeah, we totally nailed that. I have to tell you, I'm very proud of the guys for this one because we that very day our issue came out, he actually fired his sister.
Nice.
So it was
like so perfect.
It was kind of like we said, Tom, you need some help, man.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You need publicists are your friend.
Publicists are your friends, and these people are actually, a lot of them are really good at what they do, and so get a real one.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we wanted to celebrate our friends on that side.
Something else we celebrate on this show is Transformers. Quite a bit more than the average bear, perhaps.
Okay,
Number
as you
37, vintage Transformers. Now, is it that you're encouraging people to buy vintage Transformers now before the Transformers movie comes out?
Yeah, well, that was
going to be worth more later.
Was sort of the angle.
Sort of the angle.
The
there?
angle that we put on it. But yeah, there's just all kinds of good deals to be had, and you can never have enough of them.
I suppose. Do you have any vintage Transformers yourself?
I got married a little while ago, so I had to.
It's okay.
It's in my mom's basement.
It's in your mom's basement. Nice. All right. So now another interesting trend, and I read a lot of the gossip websites, so I know all about this. Skinny models carrying giant Starbucks cups.
Yeah, that was.
What's going on?
I know. Well, that was one. We wanted to create this list. It was a bunch of guys sort of sitting around and saying, what are we excited about? Books, movies, games, everything, but also like trends that we see out there.
Weird stuff.
And it's like the girls are getting smaller and the cups are getting bigger.
I know,
we just don't understand.
What is in those cups?
I don't know. It's like caffeine stunts your growth or something. But if you see the Olsen twins, with these gigantic, they're like big gulps,
Right.
And
you're saying to Hollywood, we're on to you. We know what's going on.
I don't know. We just
Something's happening.
We just wanted to kind of just say like this is sort of amazing. Every picture you see in these celebrity weeklies. They're drinking coffee endlessly. Do they drink coffee 24/7? I don't understand.
I couldn't even pretend to understand these women.
So we got some good pictures.
And then finally, number 44, which is something called day and date releasing. Now, what is that?
Well, this is something that we think. The story is about Mark Cuban and Steven Soderbergh and Todd Wagner, who are coming together to do the film Bubble.
Okay.
That comes out in January.
And they're going to release the DVD the same day the movie comes out.
Exactly. Day and date releasing is basically all the platforms one day. And that has never happened in Hollywood before. And there's a raging argument in Hollywood right now as to whether this is something you should do. Obviously, the theater owners don't want to do it. They think it's going to ruin the theater business because people will just buy the DVD and never go to the movie theater. We actually think that that's wrong. We think this argument is a lot like 1983, okay, when Jack Valenti got in front of Congress and said, if you let these VCRs into this country, it will ruin the movie business forever.
So,
and of course, that didn't happen. So, there's always gloom and doom all the time about new ideas like this. And we wanted to write about Mark Cuban in particular, really championing this format and this business venture to do. And we hope for the best for the movie.
And obviously, we'll learn more about day and date releasing in this issue of Giant Magazine.
Right.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You can check out giantmag.com for more. And some of our chatters today will be getting the newest issue of Giant just in time for the holidays. Now, speaking of things that are freakishly large, the feed's up next. Stick around.
iPod of the stars. Ben Affleck's iPod. Unemployed and out of luck, just plain Bill. The Gambler, Kenny Rogers. TV wife, Twisted Sister. At the Fat Man's, Tommy Dorsey. I used to be super genius, Matt Dag Nasty.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Now that we have a moment, just you and I, let me remind you that you can get more Attack of the Show podcast featuring any more wackiness that our show has to give in bite-sized form through our website, or you can check iTunes podcast directory. Plus, tomorrow is Friday, and that means a Boost Mobile live music performance by the band of From Satellite. Now, the feed is only asking for a moment of your time. You can spare that much, right?
The CTO for the Bell South telephone company, William Smith, claims his company has a new plan for dealing with internet competition, according to investors.com. And no, not surprisingly, it's greedy, obnoxious, and will ruin the internet for everybody. The plan would essentially make it okay for internet providers to deliberately make competitors' websites load slower or not at all, unless you paid for premium service. Smith apparently compared the system to coach versus first-class airline tickets. See, different classes of service for different prices. Hey, anybody remember the last time corporations thought they could magically make money off the internet? It's not cable TV, nor should it ever be. Go back to providing spotty phone service that craps out in moments of crisis, why don't you? I'm not bitter. A Canadian man named Mark Tatachi decided that if he was going to get unlimited free airline tickets for a month, he was going to make the most of it. Air Canada recently offered a North America Unlimited Pass, which gives flyers unlimited free tickets between October 1st and November 30th for around $7,000 Canadian, which is like, I don't know, 3.2 billion American or whatever. So Tachi set about collecting a whopping 1 million frequent flyer miles by hopping on planes an average of 7 times a day. So the story goes, he ping-ponged back and forth between British Columbia and Ontario to collect all the miles, and to put it in perspective, has earned enough for 10 round-trip business-class flights from Canada to Australia. Nice work. Tachi is happy to have reached his goal, but is now looking forward to getting back to his real job. He's a pilot, and that's not a joke. I don't make this stuff up. You ever wonder what happened to the bratty kid who always took his ball and ran home whenever the game didn't go his way? Well, he grew up and earned millions of dollars a year and still takes his ball home. Only now he sues to keep it. Former Boston Red Sox player Doug Mentkovich, who caught the final out, you know, the one that ended Boston's 86-year World Series drought last season, is involved in a lawsuit, a bitter lawsuit over who actually owns that ball. Now, he claims he does. The organization claims they do and want the ball for their archive. So lawsuit time, everybody. Woo! Of course, the issue probably would have been more resolved more easily had the Sox not traded Mentkovich to the New York Mets. We support you, Doug. Nobody should be forced to commute to Queens for any reason. It's just inhumane. And finally, the guy who runs Cheat Code Central, a website dedicated to finding and posting video game cheats, has filed a lawsuit against a California company he's accusing of stealing his cheats. Since cheat codes are usually discovered by anonymous gamers and posted online for all to share, it may be impossible for Cheat Code Central to claim copyright ownership. In fact, an article in the Denver Post quotes University of Chicago law professor Randy Picker, who says that the site can copyright the way in which the facts are conveyed, but not the facts themselves. So in other words, if you say, deliver your cheats on TV through a pretty female hostess, you're golden. Whew, close one, Kristen. And that's the feed. I'm happy with it. You?
When we come back, this mild-mannered show will hop into a phone booth and become Fresh Ink. I don't have a cape. Plus, we stop by the LAN party, which, if the electrical charges were set correctly, will be rollicking. Stick around.
LAN parties. Can they get any sillier? I think the obvious answer is yes. The game we're tearing up today is Star Wars Battlefront 2, flown in special from our Rackspace servers. And joining us is the lovely Kyla Yu from the Super Import Model DVD series. Now, tell me, what are super import models? Are they like crime fighters? Or what do you guys
Sounds
do?
like some kind of crime fighter. Huh? It's actually just import models. They're like models from the import car show scene. So it's about the cars.
So you haven't been imported yourself?
No, well, I actually am imported, I guess. I'm from Taiwan. So.
I hear this year's crop of is good. Imports.
I don't know.
Taiwanese girls.
I mean, maybe you try.
You would know. So that must be fun. Then you stand around in front of cars and everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sure I've probably
real
seen
fascinating.
you. It is fascinating, just a regular guy like me. Now, you are also a musician. Mm-hmm. Right.
Right.
You've got an album coming out.
Yes.
What kind of music?
It's club banger stuff. It's, you know, stuff you would dance to.
Oh, so what do you do then? Are you a DJ or do you...
No, I'm a singer.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
The album's called Candy Coated Sugar Sex. So
What's it called?
Candy Coated Sugar Sex. Say that 5 times. Really
Candy
fast.
Coated Sugar Sex.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the kids, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely for the kids.
Right, and there's a music video as well, huh?
Yeah, we're going to market it to like the 14-year-old demographic.
Okay, good. Do you stand in front of cars in the music video as well?
In this music video you guys just played, I was standing in front of a car.
Really?
Yes.
Well, good. You might as well stick with what you know.
Yeah, just be with what I'm familiar with.
Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by and enjoy your gaming.
Yes.
All right,
very
Kyle.
exciting.
Remember to be on the lookout for the upcoming Super Import Models DVD. And don't forget to check out Kyle's website at KyleU.com. Now, with great comic books come great responsibility. It's Fresh Ink.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Blair Butler is back, and we were gone last week.
Right.
So I guess we're going to play a little bit of catch-up well as look at some new stuff.
Right.
What do you have for us, Blair?
Okay, last week a lot of good stuff came out, the new Walking Dead, but a couple that we haven't talked about before. The first one was Ex Machina number 16.
Now, this is the guy who connects with machines.
Yes.
Like, he can talk with machines.
The premise of this comic, it's like the West Wing if the president were the Rocketeer. It's basically,
right.
The premise is that the mayor of New York is the only existing superhero, and he's a superhero because he's sort of bonded with this alien technology, and it's
that allows
great.
him to control Hamilton Beach blenders.
Absolutely.
Which is pretty much the most exciting thing that happens in this issue, right?
Vacuum cleaners. Well, actually...
No puree for you! And then he uses his superpower and the blender stops.
Right. The thing about this series, a lot of people complain that it takes forever to develop the storylines. It's written by Brian K. Vaughan, who also does Y the Last Man, and that's sort of an issue with those, with that story as well. It just takes a long time to...
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm clearly not the expert, but I found that even though there was like a lack of action and it seemed to must be story, yada yada, the writing was so good.
It's great.
That, I mean, like the dialogue and the flashbacks and finding out about his father, etc., was just so compelling that I didn't mind that there weren't gratuitous blood, gut, and sex, which is weird for me to even admit.
I think it's great, and the theme of this story arc, this 2-issue story arc, has been everyone lies eventually. So even machines. So it's a really great series. I totally recommend it.
Buy, browse, or burn?
Buy it, absolutely.
All right, so we're buying the Ex Machina. All right, now let's move on to Loveless, which is is a Western? Is it what is it? It's not...
Well, in the comic book tradition, there are a lot of like different genres, and Western comics actually were really big in like the 50s and 60s, and now they're sort of reinventing it. But this comic, I have to say, is one of the most gratuitously violent, vulgar things I've read in a long time. It makes Deadwood look like Sesame Street.
I completely agree with that.
It's right after the Civil War. There are no heroes, and the saving grace of Deadwood is that even the anti-heroes are just really, they have redeeming qualities. This is just the bleakest, most violent, just oppressively dismal series.
Is there a story here, though, or is it just, hey, guys on horses shooting each other? Which I'm fine with, but...
It's after the Civil War. A Confederate soldier returns back to reclaim the land that's been taken basically by the Union. And that's
an excuse for the
dark.
gratuitous bloodshed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's sort of why I can't really endorse this, because... there's been a trend in comics recently, stuff like The Authority, The Magnificent Kev, where it's just sort of like, I think a lot of creators are realizing they have this freedom to go blood, guts, gore, boobs, whatever.
So why not?
Right, so why not?
So you said you can't endorse it. Does that mean we should browse it, or does it mean we should burn it?
I say browse it. I mean, it's shocking, and to me, that's
so get your kicks, giggle in the store, and then hand it to a 4-year-old and walk away.
Yeah.
All right, done. You're recommending this for 4-year-olds. That's fantastic.
Yes.
And now, Hate.
Right, Hate Annual number 5. This is like sort of an indie comic. It's this guy, Peter Bag, or Peter Baggy, but I like the fact that on the cover he goes by P-Bag.
Very, very cute.
Or P-Baggy, depending on how you want to pronounce it. But this comic has been around since the 90s. It's really interesting. I just don't think this 5th annual is like the strongest representation of his work. It's not a great sign when the thing I enjoyed most in it, the portion of its multiple storylines.
Right.
I really enjoyed. He had an essay about the gentrification of taverns. And like dive bars.
And that was the most
And that
enjoyable
to me
part.
was great. I loved that. But he has a lot of recurring characters like Batboy.
Yeah, Batboy's in this one.
Yeah. So, it's all right. I think if you've never read Hate before, you can pick up some other issues. But this is very much in the R. Crumb.
Do you feel hate for this, or would you say at least browse it?
I say browse it. Yeah.
All right. So we're browsing the old Hate, and then. This, when I heard that we were going to talk about this comic, and it's the Marvel Holiday Special,
yes,
I said, I jokingly said, oh, it was Wolverine wearing a Santa hat, ha ha ha. Pretty much.
Pretty much. Spider-Man's wearing a Santa hat. The reason that
He's got an eggnog mustache at one point.
The reason I want to talk about this is that this is so symptomatic of like why I stopped reading comics in the 90s. I mean, it's...
Right. This is the decline of Western society right here in comic book form.
Yeah. And, you know, not to beat up on it too much, because it's definitely intended for kids, but it's just really, I mean...
You can beat up on it. There's a robotic Santa that does a systematic scan of a room, determines everybody's naughty, and decides to attack
Santa
them.
Ultron.
There is like they're all naughty, and he gets foiled by. Well, should I spoil it? Can I spoil it? 'Cause
Yeah,
you're not
go
gonna say
for
bye.
it. Yeah.
He gets caught by a cookie that was left for him.
Right.
Because Santa can't resist a cookie and some milk, right?
Yeah, it's like a robotic cookie that they use to as a Trojan horse to stop. But yeah, exactly. I mean, this is like the kind of like completely disposable, cheesy end-of-year storytelling where, I mean, a lot of it is they're trying out new writers, and I completely appreciate that.
Right.
But it's just these stories are just silly and not silly in a sort of playful, smart way, the way a lot of like Brian Michael Bendis' stories are lately.
Silly as in, even in the speech balloon it says, "Are you serious?" Because even the writers probably can't believe this crap.
Yeah, and even the last story in it has great art, and then it's like this really hokey poem about.
So, if you're a 4-year-old and you're not reading Loveless, should you pick up?
No, I don't think anyone should pick this up.
Just burn it.
Burn it. Burn it.
Grab it off the shelves.
Not
throw it in the
endorsing the
fire.
burning of books, but seriously, burn it.
Yeah, seriously. Blair, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
by. As usual, be sure to check our show notes for more on these comics. But when the show returns, I finally find someone besides myself and, of course, Blair, who has an unhealthy attraction to blue tights. Stick around.
Computers on Attack of the Show provided by Intel. Game on. Power up. Take control with the Intel Pentium Processor Extreme Edition.
On the next Attack of the Show, Dead Zone star Nicole DeBoer comes by and honestly spooks us a bit. Plus, no Friday is complete without some hassle-free and money-free time-wasting games. And finally, their name is From Satellite, but they'll actually be live and here tomorrow. That's the next Attack of the Show, but don't take my word for it. Now, Superman fans know all about BlueTights.net and the behind-the-scenes video diaries for Bryan Singer's Superman Returns. Robert Burnett, who also directed the Star Trek-themed comedy Free Enterprise, happened to be the fly on the wall responsible for those Superman videos, and he's here to spill every single Superman spoiler he can, right, Robert?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Right?
I don't know about that.
I was under the impression we were going to get some spoilers, so have at it.
Well, what do you want to know?
I want to know everything. What was it like being on the set? Was there, it must have been pretty cool to be there and be able to film everything you wanted to film.
It's pretty great. Brian's a really family-oriented guy. He works with the same people over and over again, and I like to say that I'm sort of his court biographer, court jester.
Now, and you two have been friends for a really long time,
Long
right?
time, almost 2 decades, actually. And I've done all of his DVD work, but he actually looked at me and requested my presence 24/7 down in Sydney.
So, let me ask you this. Have you seen the movie in its current form? You and Brian are pretty tight.
Well, I would like to say that it's so far out. A movie is sort of iterative. It changes every day. But I've seen a lot of it. I've seen a lot of the film as it's coming together.
And just between you and me, what do you think?
Well, I'm a lifelong Superman superhero fan.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think other than Richard Donner's original Superman, Bryan Singer's X-Men movies are probably the best superhero films. So I would say that what Brian did for the X-Men, he's definitely bringing to Superman.
Okay, so it's a positive reaction from you.
Very positive. And as he'll tell you, it's the most romantic movie he's ever made, and it's the funniest movie he's ever made.
You know, and Brian himself seems to be a kind of funny guy. His video journals are funny. He's very self-deprecating. What are his sets like?
His sets are a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of laughing. There's a lot of mirth and mayhem and antics.
Yeah?
Antics ensue all the time.
So do you have an example of something crazy that happened on the Superman Returns set?
Yeah, you know, we were doing a corporate sponsorship kind of a thing, and Brian will put on a wetsuit and jump in a tank and promote a product right in the middle of a shooting day, just for fun.
Wow. Really?
Like literally.
I wasn't expecting a story like that.
No, it's true. He will put on a wetsuit in the middle of a shooting day. Not to say he's not going to make his day.
No.
If it interfered with his shooting, he would never do that.
Just having a little fun.
But he has lots of fun all the time, and he'll put himself in a flying harness.
That's awesome. Now there have been. I have to address something very serious now. Some fans have been having some problems. For example, the Superman suit. It's a little different. It's differently placed. And Brandon Routh, can't he even act? We saw the trailer. He's not saying anything.
Well, you know, it's you will see him say quite a bit. He has a lot to say, but there hasn't been a harder working actor in show business, I don't think. I mean, he literally made a physical transformation along the lines of what De Niro did in Raging Bull. He became Superman. And when you see him, his physical presence on set, I feel like I'm 5 years old. Like he'll walk up to me and he'll go, "Hey, Rob, what's going on?" in his suit.
So
and I'll
Brad
be like,
is not going to disappoint us.
No.
Awesome.
No, as a matter of fact, I think 15-year-old girls the world over will be bowled over, and 85-year-old lifelong Superman fans will be
All right,
by him.
I'm going to
as
hold
the
you
new,
to that, Rob.
You can.
Now, there's another little twist to the story. Lois Lane, a relative of mine, has a baby in this version.
That's true.
Superman Returns.
And as Brian's pointed out in the past, Superman has defeated supervillains. He's solved or stopped natural disasters. But now he's been away. He comes back, and the love of his life has moved on. Has a new boyfriend, and they have a child, a small child.
Wow.
It's not like Superman can suddenly get rid of this problem.
It's a new twist to the Superman saga.
Deeply personal to him, and what does he do?
I don't know.
What does he do?
Well, you know. We don't know.
You know what? You're going to find out. June 30th, 2006.
All right. Well, not only have you been shooting stuff and on the Superman set and making DVDs, but you also have a new comic book you've penned, Living in Infamy. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, we're a production company, but we figured rather than try and get other people to let us develop their properties, we decided to create our own. And a guy named Ben Rabb and his partner Derek Hughes brought me this idea. Which is basically, it's about the FBI's witness protection program for supervillains. Sort of, it's desperate supervillains, or it's The Sopranos meets The Incredibles.
I love it.
And it hits newsstands today, and it's unique for a small company like ourselves that have never ever published a comic book before to do it. But Ben and Derek did a great job. Ashley Miller, the editor of the book, really shaped the material, and we're hoping to soon announce that we're going to have a movie deal for the comic book.
Ooh, Rob, you are a man of many talents.
Well, I'd like to think so.
Well, thanks for being here and telling us a little bit about Superman, showing us your new comic, and best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. For all the latest updates on Robert, visit his company's website, ludovicotechnique.com, and for all of Brian's video journals from Blue Tights, check out supermanreturns.com. And of course, pick up Living in Infamy as soon as humanly possible. It's really good, especially comic book fans. Blair Butler is reading it right now. Hey, Superman can fly around the Earth in reverse time. We can't. We wrap things up with chat questions next. Thank you.
Attack of the Superman. Attack.
Hey, if you're a fan of the band Simple Plan and you have an Xbox Live account and you live in either Toronto or Los Angeles, then you might be our next Game with Fame contestant on December 16th. And even if you don't win the opportunity to meet and play against the band, you can still score stuff like a copy of Need for Speed Most Wanted or Simple Plan's MTV Hard Rock Live CD. If you qualify and you want to virtually smack down Simple Plan, send an email to xlmail@microsoft.com and be sure to have Simple Plan GWF in the subject line. You also might want to include like your name and address and gamer tag and phone number, or else we can't get in touch with you.
And just another reminder, G4 is giving 4 grand prize winners a trip for 2 to Game in San Francisco. Game, of course, is 3 days of games and music and other things that aren't games or music. So lots of things.
What?
From Friday, December 2nd through Sunday, December 4th at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. So enter online at g4tv.com/game from November 7th through to November 11th. Actually, that's over. See first, play it live at Game. I'm sure it's up there.
No, for next year's, if you want to get a head start.
Year
go and enter.
fun.
And I'll be there on Saturday,
Good
so come
save.
by and say hello.
You will?
Yeah, I will. I'll be gaming it up. Let's
You're
go
such a-
IRC chat room.
You're such the favorite.
We might have time for one.
One question. Okay. Fifth Dream wants to know, how can I get out of jury duty? Oh, man, I wish I knew.
Didn't you? Have you? I haven't been summoned yet. I don't know if I should
you
even
know
say
what?
that.
I don't think I should either. I have never been summoned.
See, it's the best
jury
excuse for
duty.
not voting.
I've been a foreman on 2 juries. One of them was a homicide case.
Yeah, guilty,
You
not
know
guilty?
what? I didn't have my helmet cam at the time.
Can we see the helmet cam?
Oh,
Are
yeah,
able
we
to
hanged
see
the
it?
guy. Yeah.
Do we? Oh, yeah, there it is. Look at that.
All right.
That's a true story.
Eyes up.
That's an
Moran,
interesting angle there. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for our guests, Steve Lim, Paul Soter, Jamie Hooper, Robert Burnett, Blair Butler, and Carly Hughes. See you next.
Attack of the Show wardrobe provided by Jinx.com.